Hello and welcome to the Human Capital Management presentation. Today we are going to be talking about the solution, including the payroll, HR, benefits, and timekeeping aspects. The system has all those in a single database and a cloud-based solution, meaning users don't need to download or install anything on their computer and can access the system from anywhere. To begin with here, we're going to log into the system as an administrator, and we'll run through some of the features here. First off, talking about employees. If you've got your employees stored somewhere currently, we can import those in as part of a conversion process. We can also import pay history as well, and you'll want to talk to your sales representative about those options. For a new hire, we do have an onboarding and an applicant tracking solution as well. They won't be part of our discussion today. We're going to be talking about manually adding someone into the system, but if you are interested in those options, just let us know. Now, a couple of things you want to be aware of here that are available. If we want an employee to have self-service access to the system, we'd give them an email. It'll notify the employee and walk them through getting into the system. The system also has a tax engine that runs on the back end. Simply by putting in zip code information for the employee, it'll know if there are local taxes, school district taxes, etc. This is a quick hire screen. If I wanted to get someone up and running, including direct deposit, I could do that from here. And there is a wizard format which would walk you through the items in more detail and capture all the information. Now, we do have a full section for the employees covering all sorts of information on the employee. A couple of specific items you want to be aware of in here. One is in the employment section, we'll have an employment category for the employee. And in here, we're going to flag whether the employee's full-time, part-time, variable hours. Part of what the system can do is monitor that and tell you if an employee's status changes for purposes of the ACA. It'll let us know if a full-time employee needs to be moved back down to part-time or vice versa. We're also going to capture information such as I-9, EEO, associated documents, etc. The system is going to have a comprehensive HR package built in here for you as well. And we're going to have everything from employee contacts, employment history, any certifications, skill sets, education the employee might have. We can track training, awards, disciplinary actions. We can track things like company assets. So if you give your employees credit cards, cell phones, laptops, keys, whatever it might be, we can track who has what in the system. And the software will let you know when you terminate someone if they still have outstanding company property. We do offer unlimited document storage as part of the system. You'd simply come in, add the documents, categorize them, and upload them, and then decide who has access to view. So for example, if I'm uploading a resume, I might want to give the employee or their manager access to view that information. By default, HR/payroll are the only ones who see any documents that are uploaded. It is a full HR system, so it'll track OSHA incidents. It's got the OSHA reports built in, the EEO reports built in, the BETS 100 reports, all built into the system. And we'll look at the reporting tool in just a few moments. We do also offer performance management through the system, including the ability to track a complete history of all reviews, and then also the ability for the employee to self-review or for a manager or other users to go in and conduct reviews. You can create your own reviews, including the information they're being reviewed on, the rating scales, and allow them to enter comments into the system, etc. Now, we do have a comprehensive performance review package through our partner, SuccessFactors. If you're interested in 360 reviews, more comprehensive review functionality, please let us know. In the self-service portion of the system, we've got the time collection for the employees. Employees can log into the system and clock in and clock out, or they could use a physical clock. We offer biometrics, swipe cards, pin entry clocks. If you'd prefer and just have them use their computer, we could do that as well. They can clock in, clock out, view their time card, and they can approve the time as well. You can have multiple levels of approval, including employee, manager, and supervisor. The time card shown here, blue indicates worked hours, dark blue indicates a meal like a paid break. And from there I can see the different days of the week when they worked. If they're off on a given day, that day will show in gray. And then throughout the week, I'll also see the number of hours they worked each day and totals, broken up, of course, by regular, overtime, etc. The employee can use the system to request time off, which runs through an approval process where they request it, and maybe a manager or supervisor would approve the time. But it could have multiple levels of approval. That's a configurable process. The employee could also use the system for benefits enrollment. Employee logs into the system after receiving an email notification letting him know it's time for open enrollment, and they would walk through that now familiar wizard format, next, 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 adding information, viewing information, etc. The system will check for them as they go through the enrollment. If they select the wrong level of coverage based on dependents, for example, it'll help them through that process making the correct choices. When they're completed with the process, it would notify you and have you approve the process. So we're going to let them do the work, but ultimately you would sign off. That same rule would apply to anything else we let the employee do. For example, we could give the employee access to a life events wizard. If they get married and want to upload supporting documentation, indicate the event date, and then next, next, next through that process. We could allow them to do that, and it'll go to you for approval. Same thing with things like tax updates, anything we're going to allow the employee to view or change in the system, we can require an approval process associated with that. The list we see here is a comprehensive view. This list could change based on your preferences. We'll take out items we don't want the employee seeing during the implementation, or we'll add things in and tailor this to your exact needs. Part of our implementation and training methodology is to keep the system as easy to use as possible for the end users. Part of that includes removing things that they simply wouldn't be using or you wouldn't want them to have access to see. So from here we'll go into pay processing and talk about that. Initially we're going to go into the time entry grid. If we're collecting time through the system can auto-populate the hours that have been worked right in the grid, and from there the grid could also be used to enter things like commissions, bonuses. We could make adjustments to the hours that have been entered, etc. This is an interactive grid. You'd pick and choose the columns that you need and how things are going to be done. Once you've made any changes you need to here, you'd come in and process payroll. And processing payroll, we're going to have a couple of options here. First, we've got our preview. When I click preview, the system in real time is going to go out and get all the data ready as if it were processing it. But all it's really doing is allowing me to go in and run reports on the information. So I'm going to preview the data, run my reports, check it, make sure it looks good. And when I'm ready, I process. So here's my preview results. And again, this is all real time, so we're seeing it just takes a few moments to do that. And my report list, by the way, may contain any reports that I'd want to use normally. A check register, a payroll summary, an exceptions report, etc. Then when I'm ready, I click process, and then I'll have reports associated with the actual process data as well. At any point, I can go into my reporting tool and run reports. And this includes over 300 canned reports built in. And we've got these broken up for you in different categories. For example, ACA, benefits. When we're ready to send to accounting, we've got our GL output. We've got the HR, payroll, timekeeping, etc. And in these reports, you'll see the ability to export the data to PDF or Excel and run the reports off specific date ranges by FEIN, by group within the company, etc. There is also a report writer, so if you needed some specific information in a format that we don't have available in the numerous canned reports, you could simply go in and grab the information. The report writer is not a third-party tool. We built this tool and we built it to run with our database. So I can go in, add columns, mix and match data, do anything I'd like when it comes to grabbing report information. I simply move over the information I want in the report, select from multiple different categories, and then I can format the report, choose the output, run it across all companies or a specific FEIN. And for the report writer, you're going to have the option of exporting out to PDF, Excel, or CSV. Now, one last item, for users who may not use the system regularly but want an insight as to what's going on in the organization, we do also have our executive dashboard. And this dashboard is a configurable tool run by company, group, something within your organizational category, or across a specific date range. But it'll give insight into things like employee demographics, headcount information, etc. So users without any real knowledge of the system could be given access to this dashboard and a real simple point-and-click interface to grab whatever information they need about the organization. Thank you for taking the time to view our quick presentation today, an overview of Human Capital Management Solution. If you'd like to see a one-on-one presentation or want more information on the system, please contact your sales representative. Thank you.